Hi everyone, I'm Giuliano. Welcome to our second Founders Forum. I am co-founder of Mercado. Welcome and thank you for joining us. We are super excited to have Van, the founder of Bomb Waves, here as our founder spotlight. We basically want to get to know everybody a little bit better and also be able to share and showcase how different founders have started, currently manage, and have grown their business. So let me have my first intro, Van. Hi, Van, and thanks for joining us today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, thanks so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and Bomb Waves to start, and then we'll kind of go into all of the different details of why you started Bomb Waves and how you started Bomb Waves and how you currently are running the business as well.
Great. Well, my name is Van Lee. I am an immigrant. I came here my family's from Vietnam. I was born in a Thai refugee camp after the Vietnam War. We immigrated over to San Francisco. We were sponsored by a small church there, and they flew us from Thailand over here. And I've pretty much grown up all over the Northern California Bay Area.
Super exciting. I'm an immigrant as well from South Africa, so I completely understand, and obviously now live in San Francisco as well. So awesome. Tell us a little bit more about Bomb Waves and why you started Bomb Waves.
Well, Bomb Waves was quite a journey. I decided I wanted to learn how to surf. I was on a little vacation in Hawaii, and some friends who are avid surfers that live there, they decided they wanted to go surfing one day, and pretty much was like, we're all going surfing. And I was adamant about not going. Did not want to learn how to surf. But I ended up giving in. It's not that difficult to twist my arm into doing fun things. And after that, I was like, I think this could be really fun. And so I pretty much stuck to warm water surfing for the first year and a half. And then I just wanted to get back into the water and decided to hop into our cold waters here in the Bay Area. And I soon found that surfing in cold water requires a little bit more detail. And I found that it was really hard to change in and out of my wetsuit with just a towel. And so I went to the internet. I started surfing the internet and looking for a surf poncho, and I just didn't find anything that I thought that looked good to me. So I'm fairly crafty, and so I figured, you know what, I'll buy a sewing machine, I'll buy some fabric, and I'll piecemeal something together. And I thought it turned out, okay. It wasn't professional looking by any means because I'm not a sewer, but I thought the concept was pretty cool. And then I thought, hey, I wonder if people would be interested in this, and that's how my Bomb Waves journey began.
That's awesome. When did you launch Bomb Waves?
I launched Bomb Waves in 2018. I started doing some really deep research, beginning of 2017, and that in itself was quite a journey, because learning how to get into the apparel business was super challenging.
Yeah, I actually have a bunch of questions for you as far as sort of running and managing a business. So we'll get to those at some point. But one of the things that I find really fascinating as well is sort of the ethos that you built the company around. So ocean love, adventure, growth, and harmony. Can you kind of explain to everyone a little bit more about your ethos and sort of how that got you to where you are today?
Sure. So there are four elements that Bomb Waves is kind of grounded on, and it's ocean love, which with surfing, it's really easy to fall in love with the ocean and feel really connected to the environment. And I think you just the ocean gives you so much. And so just being a little bit more aware of your environment, not necessarily just the ocean, but to really realize that all of the trash and debris that you see everywhere, even inland, that doesn't get picked up and put into the trash bin or the recycle bin, it will eventually end up in the ocean. Um, And if you love seafood, the little fishies get eaten by the big fishies, and then the humans eat those, and it ends up back into your system. And so, really thinking twice about what we do with our trash. And then adventure, just getting out there and experiencing life and what the world has to offer. Even if you can't hop on a plane per se and go somewhere, it's getting out in your community, into your backyard, going on a hike, just experiencing life. And then what is it? Ocean love, adventure,
Harmony and growth.
harmony, and growth. I'll go over growth a little bit, and that's more to do with self growth, finding your passions in life, and just self development. I think when you find something that you're really passionate about and you start developing in those skills, it just builds your self confidence, and it just makes you uh, easier to deal with in life in general, and you have better mental health. And then harmony, just connecting with the community, getting to know the people around you. Um, and that's kind of the basis for uh, my company motto, which is live your life. It's really just baked into my company logo. So all
Yep.
of that really just to say, live your life.
It's great. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, it all resonates with me personally. So, I think having that sort of balance and the fact that you run your business around your passion is really great, and something that obviously we at Mercado are really focused on too. So, yeah, okay. So I want to go a little bit more into sort of you starting the business. What was some of the like first challenges that you faced when you started Bomb Waves? Just to kind of add to it a little bit, generally as founders, we never know where to start or what to do. Sort of how did you ground yourself and what did you focus on first?
Oh, I had no idea how to start this. I thought that a surf poncho would be so easy. It's just basically a giant towel you piece together. And I found pretty quickly on I was hurled into the fashion industry, um, because in the United States, especially in California, there's all these regulations with labeling and care instructions, sizing, and stuff like that you have to put on the materials. Um, but one of the biggest challenges for me was getting connected to manufacturing companies and pattern designers. I'm really proud of the fact that all of my surf ponchos are made locally in San Francisco, California. And to find manufacturing companies that would talk to somebody just off the street who has zero experience was a huge challenge. I would call, I would email, I would stalk all of these companies and call. I would just every single day I'd be sending messages and nobody would pick up the phone and call me back. And in order to make any kind of apparel, even something as simple as a surf poncho, you need to have a pattern design. Um, and so I'm not a pattern designer. And so that's basically drawing out all of the pieces of a shirt or a pant or a surf poncho, and how it's all pieced together, all the cuts and how it's laid out. So I needed to have that connection, and same thing. Nobody would, these are fast moving companies, and pre-pandemic times, they were very busy. I think it's a little bit different now, but that
Yeah,
was a challenge.
got it. Yeah, I can imagine what that's like, especially regulatory things that you don't anticipate as are trying to start this business for yourself. That's a passion of yours. So, cool. How did the pandemic, kind of since you brought that up, sort of affect your business, and what did you do to kind of work around that?
Well, the pandemic, it did affect it initially. Um, Everything got shut down. Shopping was shut down, and people just didn't know what to do. They were shopping for survival. They were buying food. They were buying hand sanitizer. They were stockpiling on toilet paper. Remember that?
Yeah.
And so, fortunately for me, my my products don't have a shelf life. I mean, they last as long as I don't allow moths to get to them. And so they can sit on the shelf for as long as I need them to. Um, but then people's shopping habits started to change as people were just sitting at home bored. People started really to start online shopping, and then surfing blew up. Everybody wanted to be a surfer. I mean, it was one of those activities that was encouraged for people to get outdoors, go surfing, go on hikes, ride a bike, go
Yeah.
running. So the need for surf ponchos grew a little bit. There was more interest in it. And so then once the shop started opening up and people were able to go shopping again, which people are back out there now, the surf shops really started wanting to carry my inventory, all the local surf shops, well, a handful of them. So that was really interesting to see the numbers kind of go up in sales in that way.
Yeah, that's great. So here's another question sort of related to you starting your business. As you obviously have to think about all of the trademarking and patenting and website and e-commerce and all of these things, did you have anyone that sort of helped guide you through that process? Or, did you tap into different friends, other founders that maybe had started a business to kind of help you through that?
I did through the process of my research. I ended up meeting a man who was in the industry, and at the height of his career, he had his own brand clothing label. He also had designed for the Men's Warehouse for most of his career. Um, and after he retired from designing, he opened up a consultant business in the fashion industry. And I just happened across him. And he connected me to everybody. So I still work with a lot of the people that he connected me with today. And those people connect me to new people. So it's just kind of been a journey and a great learning experience and a true adventure, honestly, because it's not my world at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the relationships that you make and sort of some of those connections along the way really sort of help you, figure out what are next steps in your journey as well. We actually have a question that I'll just bring up now. Samantha's asking, who are your biggest inspirations in life?
um, I think a lot of the people that I met in the water and through my travels. Um, I can't think of. I don't want to name any names. There's a lot of people.
Yeah,
I just learned so much, and what's really neat about surfing is you can travel all over the world and meet really interesting people that don't have anything in common with you except for this one thing, which is surfing. Um, I surf with a couple of folks here locally, and they've been surfing before um, surf leashes and wetsuits were ever invented. And their stories and their journey through life, as well as just interesting stories about surf and all of the different spots along the coast here. Super inspiring. It makes me want to become a better surfer, makes me want to become a better human. So, yeah, a lot of people have inspired me in my life.
awesome. Cool. Let's go a little bit into sort of the running of the business pieces, right? What would you say you found to be the most challenging part to running your business?
Um,
Outside of the, obviously, making the connections and all of the apparel sort of barriers, we'll call them, right? What else has been sort of a challenge in the day-to-day management side of it?
Definitely. Marketing. It's not with. It's not really within my wheelhouse. I hardly ever do it because it's like a huge mountain for me to tackle. So, I mean, the minimal amount of marketing that I do is, sponsored ads through Instagram or Facebook, but that's pretty much it. And I can't even remember the last time I did it. And then probably just connecting my inventory, dealing with all of the tax prep within the business. I feel like I'm constantly filing taxes. So yeah, I think it's marketing and the documentation side of the business.
Sure. The day-to-day management, etc. Yeah, it tends to be a lot. I'm a marketer by trade, so I can tell you firsthand, even as a many-year marketer, it's really tough to market a business, especially when you don't necessarily know what's the right approach, right, with a specific audience. So, yeah. What has sort of been your approach to or thinking about like expanding on your marketing? Have you thought about hiring a consultant or other ways to do it yourself? Just so that other founders know what your approach would be, and maybe that would help them also think about what they would do.
I know that there's like a lot of classes online. I'm one of those people that likes to just do things and learn things on my own.
Yeah.
I think the connection with you at Mercado is amazing. I think this will be a really huge resource for me as well. Um, just connecting with people and seeing how other companies do it, small businesses do it. I think that's a great learning experience for me too. So those are kind of the avenues. I think Instagram and Facebook is definitely a good tool. I feel like every time I utilize it, it does move for me. So
Yeah. Cool. What are some of the sort of like day-to-day tools that you use to manage your business? I think one of the toughest things for most founders is you have a website that you have to manage through one tool, and you have, Facebook, Instagram, sort of the social element, and then there's the e-commerce side. Sort of what is your approach to, and how do you kind of streamline the tools that you use to manage your business?
oh gosh, I mean, I use everything that you just mentioned there. I mean, I use huge Excel spreadsheets. I use WooCommerce, WordPress, USPS. I mean, everything. It's just it's really none of them really tie together. I have to go into each of those programs and really update them manually myself.
Mhm.
Um, so that's kind of the process that I'm currently working with.
Got it. Okay. Pretty much what everybody else is doing, right? So,
Is
yeah.
it? I feel like I'm alone here.
No, no, you definitely are not alone. It's pretty much, all of the things that you need to do. I can, after this call, I'm happy to share like a couple of things you can automate very easily through, different software. But yeah, no, it's still a very tedious process with many tools and things you have to think about, right? And I think that's the other tough part as a founder. You're trying to build your business. You're trying to focus on analytics. You're trying to market yourself. And so how do you prioritize all of these different aspects to building a business, right? And I think that's one of the biggest struggles that most founders face outside of the I don't know that I'm supposed to register my company and trademark it, or I might have to rebrand because somebody else is using the same name, right? So Nick actually has a question. So I'll pop that up before I go to my next one. What would be the one thing you would recommend or say to someone who's thinking about starting a business today?
Oh, I would say start start now. I mean, if you have an idea or a product that you feel really strongly about, start it. It doesn't need to be perfect. You're going to learn as you go. Get involved with community. Their voices is what's going to help you develop your brand and improve your product. Um, get yourself out there by sponsoring events. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. It could be a discount, giving discounts, and just getting involved with community. I mean, that's how you're going to really spread your brand.
100%. Yeah, what's one of the questions I have for you as well is if you could go back to your 2017, 2018-year-old self, what would be sort of some of the things that you would say, knowing now what it's taken you to get to this point? What would you sort of go back and say, don't do this, try this? What would be some of those things?
Oh, one that really sticks out is I sold on Amazon. And my initial thought was that would be a great way to spread across the United States. And it did, it honestly did, but it's not really built for small businesses to make a profit. And so it was a costly marketing strategy that I think could have been better utilized in a different way.
So selling on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. As a small business, I think it's really designed for huge corporations. Strangely.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you have a scaled business, I definitely think that Amazon tends to be a little bit more aggressive, especially from a spend perspective, to really run the business. So yeah, cool. That's most of my questions that I have. Outside of your advice of do, what would be sort of the two takeaways that you would say to um, you know someone who wants to start a business outside of obviously do it, but maybe the cautionary tales or things that they should focus on outside of building their business?
Focus on outside of building their business. I would say, I mean, I think what's really key and to really underscore it is to get out there in the community. I think word of mouth is really underrated, uh, because if you have a really good product, sharing it with your friends are going to, your friends and family, they're going to spread the word for you and get it out there. That has been really key for me, because I don't do much marketing. And so it's been really cool to see the business grow, um, from a really grassroots kind of perspective. Yeah.
That's great. Does anybody else that is watching have any questions for us? I'm not seeing any more come through. I think we covered most of the topics that I think are most valuable. Oh wait, there is a question. Yeah. So from Greg, what has been the most rewarding part of the business?
The most rewarding, I would say, is connecting with the community, attending all of the local events, meeting people. Um, when people, I'll do pop ups every once in a while. I'll do maybe 4 or 5 pop ups throughout the year. And I manage them. I mean, I'm kind of a one-man team here, one-woman team here. And when people come into my booth and they don't know who I am, they don't know that I'm the owner, and they just look really excited about the product, that just really lights a fire under me to really keep this going, so that's really exciting. And the thought of people are willing to pay me money for this stuff, I think is kind of neat.
Yeah. Awesome. I actually personally love this question too. Do you feel like being a female founder has impacted anything? If so, what? From Samantha.
I think so. I think there are a lot of families, um, that come through at the events that I go to. And I think a lot of the parents, they'll bring their young daughters in, um, just to kind of show them that, you can do anything you want in this life. I think it's really important to go after things that really spark your interest and make you want to get out of bed in the morning. I think it's really important to show that in today's times, women are capable of doing everything and anything that they want.
Yep, definitely. Okay, that is time for us. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Everybody, please go and find both Van's social media for Bomb Waves on Instagram, Facebook. Also, feel free to visit the Mercado YouTube so you can rewatch this video and follow us there as well. Samantha also says you're an inspiration.
Thanks, Samantha.
Great. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we hope to see you at our next spotlight. Thanks, Van.
Thank you.
Bye.